I don't think people go about these conversations in a productive manner. Honestly, in my opinion,
Mhm.
I don't think people actually have the goal of like, okay, let's come to a common ground. Let's have a conversation, and let's, you tell me your perspective, I'll tell you my perspective, and let's just kind of, come to a common ground. I don't think most people are doing it. I think they just want to argue. I think they want to release steam or whatever. But
Can you substantiate that? Real dope boy, you do this a lot, family. You'll say
can I?
something. Of course. Can you
Yeah.
substantiate how this is why we have you're literally on the Lapeef Network.
Yeah.
The brothers come on here will tell women say we want leaders. We want men who are emotionally intelligent. We want men who are emotionally available. We want men who communicate. We want men who understand women. And when men understand women, women crash out. So tell me how, even when the men try to implement solutions, Darwin trying to make better men, Trev trying to make better men, Viz trying to make better men, we still are respecting and loving sisters and bring everyone together. Tell me how you saying that people aren't trying to be solution based.
I think Trev is. I think I think Darwin is.
Mm-hmm.
I think M White is.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Viz is.
Mm-hmm.
Jr. definitely. Um, it's just not everybody on these panels.
Mm-hmm. I see you left me
Damn,
out of
so
it.
you
Well,
left.
I'm not. I'm
No,
not
I see
familiar
you
with
left
Ali.
me.
Me and Ali,
Go
I'm
ahead.
not familiar with you.
That's fine. But tell me, you said most people are that way, so they're not like that. But can you give me the evidence of who you're saying isn't solution based?
Well, I would have to process it and think about it. Give it to you.
And that's what I'm saying. When you say things, and this is like the third, fifth time we've done this, you can't
Mhm.
substantiate it.
Well,
Most
that's
brothers,
that's not true.
by nature, brothers are trying to always be solution based. There's nothing, DJ, Dr. Lady, even if they don't have men right now, where if they had a problem and men don't want to fix their problem. Most men want to fix sisters' problems and children problems and other brothers' problems. If you want to be honest, it's the sisters. If you give them the solution to a problem, they're problem hoarders. They don't want you to fix their problem because then they have to do work. They'd have to have accountability and responsibility. So they hoard the problem. You can never get to their problem. And when you fix their problem, they're going to come up with more problems. So again, my brother,
Hmm.
most brothers are solution based. If you're going to pick someone, make sure you point the fingers at most sisters because brothers are here for solutions. Brothers want to fix sisters' problems and brothers still love women. Brothers ain't saying we don't need men. I
Well,
mean, women. Brothers ain't
yeah,
saying we don't need women.
yeah. I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying that I don't think that necessarily that people go about these conversations the right way. I don't think they actually analyze after they have a conversation. I don't think they analyze like, I could have communicated that a better way, or maybe this person wasn't receptive to what I'm saying. Maybe let me try a different approach. I don't think
Right.
people do that.
So why do sisters listen to Derek Jackson, Ace Metaphor, tonight's conversation, Public Offender, the brother that
Because they
just left right
pander.
here? No, you just so
I
no, no,
can
no.
I
So
can
you
give
just
you
hold on real quick.
real
You
dope
got it.
daddy is right,
Hey,
but
let me just land and you got it. Sisters love men that lie to them. It ain't about the messenger, it's the message. Soon as they get the message from the men, they'll align with the messenger when you give them the message they want. These sisters want go and gravitate to men that lie to them. They don't want the honest truth.
all right. So look, I will do you one even better,
I
Ali.
think it's the
I used
same
to think
vice
it was
versa
I
to
think it
men.
was used to be a lie, but it's actually deeper than that. If a man can sit here and women, I would say argue that women are more willing to change more than the man because if and only if the changes that the man is able to articulate caters to the woman's feelings. So it's not necessarily a lie. It's if that man, if the Derek Jacksons of the world can say, "Hey, look, how do you feel and what do you want?" and actually help them get to that feeling, even if it's not for the best interest of relationships. It only has to be for the best interest of her individually, and that works. But I found myself trying to do the same for men, and I think you may have too. Maybe Viz, we know that when we talk to men and we try to give them practical things to work, a lot of these men don't give a damn about that. They don't care about leveling up. They want to prove their look. They don't want to prove their fitness. None of that. We can do the pandering version for the men, and they just won't do it. They won't subscribe. They won't like me. But once you do it with a woman, oh, if it's to her feelings, she gonna jump on that motherfucker. She gonna buy your book. She gonna spend her. They gonna spend their money, and you gonna have millions of subscribers. So I would argue that as long as it's toward their feelings and what they want, and it's bias confirming, the women are gonna change. The men, not so much. They not. They're not gonna do it.
I don't know, Darwin, because in that case, then I think Kevin Samuels wouldn't have reached the fame that he did.
No, he actually pivoted.
Well, yeah, he pivoted,
He pivoted
at
from the
one
man
point,
because it was not working. He even said,
right.
He got a whole live about it. It just didn't work, and then he had to go start talking to the women, and then he blew off.
For sure. At first, he was talking about, hey, fellas, go get this bottle of cologne, go get these pair of shoes, go get this suit jacket.
So you see,
motherfuckers wasn't listening, right?
They weren't listening.
But then once women started coming on the show, and he started quote unquote checking them, as most men like to point out in the YouTube world, then that's when men felt more.
What Kevin Samuels figured out is that
felt more empowered.
Kevin Samuels figured out. I got it. What Kevin Samuels figured out is that when he was telling men to be the best version of themselves, get their money out, get the game right, get the status right, get the image right, he found out that the best version of a man, if he becomes the best version of a man, it was not enough for the woman. It actually, you would just level yourself into a different bracket where women were even more promiscuous and they had lesser value and higher expectations for what they wanted. So what you did was you leveled yourself into polygamy because you had so many options and it was just almost impossible for you to get out of the market and select one of them because a lot of them came in. A lot of the women that you leveled into wasn't even worth marrying or getting a relationship. So most of these men just continue to exercise options. So it had a diminishing return because most of the guys came in with the idea to let me level up so I can find thy wife. But then it became, now that I leveled up, man, none of these women are even worth marrying. Like I got all of these.
Isn't that contradictory to what you're saying though?
You gotta connect the dots with what I'm saying.
You said women, if men appease the women, then women will change. You said men won't change. But if you do change for the women, they'll say you don't have no backbone. You're a pushover. I have to make all the decisions. They'll end up resenting you and rejecting you. And it's contradicting to your other talking points. And
I didn't say they was going to resent you, reject you. Those weren't my words.
Brothers literally on this panel say that if a woman likes you, you ain't got to do absolutely anything. So then now if we're changing and it's saying, hey, you have to do all these things to get a woman's cooperation for it to be on
I never said any of that, and Viz can vouch. I never said that. And when you level up into this polygamous bracket, there's no issue with cooperation. The issue is The issue is
men won't change, but women will.
I'm saying when the man do, there's a very small percentage of them, almost a fraction, that will able to get through and actually level up. Yeah. But when they do, they find themselves having access to all these women, and it's very difficult to select the one because a lot of these women, they come with a past. They come with all this baggage, and the men are just not compelled to check out because it just don't make any sense. It don't make any sense to check out and pick one whenever I can have as much as I want and I don't have to deal with the stress of the woman. The woman don't change. The woman still, the stress of the woman remains the same regardless of what bracket or tier you go through. It's a very small percentage of women that are worth choosing as a suitable wife, especially in this market. And the higher you go up and you get more action, the more blurry it becomes because you're not compelled to get out.
So now you're saying most men will change, but most women won't change.
Well, I'm saying most women will change based on their feelings. If the result of the change placates to their feelings, but the feelings that the results don't necessarily got to mean family, nuclear family, or positive society. It can be just, I want to be a boss baby independent. The women are going to buy that.
So if you change for the woman and you start catering to a woman, does she become a better woman? Or
you don't change for the woman.
Bruce, I don't understand what you're saying, bro.
Nobody's promoting change for the women.
What are you asking the brothers to do for the women?
We're not asking them to do a damn thing for the women. We're asking the men to change for themselves. And the women are going to come in spite of that. The women are a byproduct of your.
No, that's the contradiction. Viz.
No,
Trev,
I mean, that's true though. That's true though.
Viz, Trev,
Darwin, I don't think you're understanding it, Ali.
All of us say women want the same men, and women say they want the same men. Then we coach men to say, hey, we can get you women. No, we can't. They don't want them. What can you do? Hey, Viz, what can you do to get the woman who don't want you? And real dope, you know what I'm talking about. He admitted that other day. What can you do to get a woman that don't want you?
Wait, so Ali, I think I can't remember, but I think I remember you talking about if you're dating or not. Can you get a woman? Do you have a pick of the litter that you can choose from?
I do.
So what are we talking
I
about
mean,
then?
we talking. So we said there's a certain percentage of men that can get those women, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
So are some of us privileged to talk like that and go, we can get these women?
Now,
Yes.
to your point,
I think
and
Vince
to
got a
your-
good question. You haven't
Let me
answered.
finish. The contradictory part about it is, even if you get most of these women still don't cooperate for the
But
best.
you haven't
man.
answered Viz's
But
question.
I did, Darwin. And Bruiser, if you want to ask it for him, you can ask me. You know, I answer questions directly. I don't run from questions.
I was trying to finish though. So even in that situation, and we talk about this all the time, especially with Trev, is that comes with putting in the work and getting the experience and developing yourself to the extent of where you can get into that percentage. So it's the same thing is that if you're not doing the due diligence to make yourself better overall, and just being able to communicate with people in general, it doesn't even have to be the focus with just women. If you are able to articulate yourself, carry yourself, present yourself in a certain caliber, then you're going to be automatically in that percentage of
And
where a woman is going to want
and
you.
you're going to be like what Bruiser said. If you get to that level and you already understand the market, you're not going to want to be married. You're going to stay out the market because you see these women, the way they conduct themselves, they're not really there for you. They're there for your resources. They're there for your status, and they're there for your reputation. You had to build yourself up to get this woman. So now she'll give you temporary submission and cooperation, but she's there for what you brought to the table, and you possibly being a 20% man that she still ain't going to end up listening to. She's going to want to be a trophy wife. We're misleading brothers because some of us brothers are in that 20%, and we're seeing how muddy the water still is. Even if you are the high caliber men, most of those high caliber men still can't keep their women. That's why Paul Pierce got a show right now. He can't keep a wife, and he's an NBA superstar that won championship rings.
He
And
was
he's
cheating on his wife though.
Even if he was cheating on his wife, a Viz, how many? I'm not going to blow y'all spots up, right? A lot of the brothers that's in the 20% dealt with women in relationships, dealt with married women. These women, even after divorce, majority of them dealing with married men. They don't want the unavailable men. They want the available men.
That's fair. That's fair. I
So
can't
all I'm
argue
saying
that.
is
You said
that
majority of them?
is pre-selection. Pre-selection is what's working in nature, and the fact that women are not even operating under their other nature of cooperating with the man that gives them security. What they're doing is being hypergamous now, and they want security and they want social mobility. So if they get you, Viz, they go, damn, I got Viz, I can get Bruiser. Oh, I got Bruiser, I could get Trev. Oh, I got Trev, I could get Real Dope. They don't stay with the man. They keep trying to go up in social mobility and become the best version of what they think a man is. They don't want to be the woman. They want to be the man.
So Ali, are you saying that like no matter what you do, your woman is likely to leave you?
No. Most of these women will leave you, but no matter what you do, the only way you keep your woman is if she wants to keep you. Only way you're him to her is if you remain him to her. But whenever she changes her mind and she says you're right for me at this point, whenever she changes her mind and say, you know what, Real Dope ain't right for me right now. That's how most women operate. They change their minds.
Well, that's everybody, and that doesn't matter what.
That ain't everybody. That's not. And men keep
mine.
Men love a woman.
Let me just say that I'm really quick with what my response is.
Go ahead.